Hello, welcome to the Just Rewind podcast, where we bring context to culture. I'm your host, Kobe Taylor. In this show, we'll explore what it is to be a creator and bring new ideas for what it means to be an artist. We also hope to create connections and the opportunity to learn something new within our society. So sit back, relax, and just rewind.
All right.
That's dope.
Welcome to the newest episode of the Just Rewind podcast. We bring context to culture. I'm your host, Kobe, and my co-host.
Broccoli, aka your dopeness.
And we got a big time guest in here today. So I'm going to introduce himself.
BIGG Streetz. How y'all doing? Thanks for having me on today. It's a pleasure. It's a great opportunity. I love what y'all doing and keep it up, man. Thank you for coming through, taking the time, man.
Hell yeah, man. I met, bro. You were working. You were doing a music video.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of just, linked up from that. And like, man, I need you on my podcast because, like, me and you have, like, when we're talking, have the same kind of thoughts and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I always do on my podcast, I start with, like, childhood. Where'd you grow up at? What was that like? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so growing up, I'm born and raised from Minnesota. So I've been here, ready to branch out and, go other places. But I was born on South Minneapolis, from South Minneapolis, I moved to North Minneapolis, and I was in North Minneapolis all the way up till I was 16, and that's when I moved out, kind of branched out on my own, kind of, learned a little bit about life, as we do sometimes, with the challenges that we face.
Right.
But I also learned a lot of good things, too. It wasn't just, some type of sob story. I met a lot of good people. A lot of people loved me, so that kind of made my road a little easier than it may have been if people, didn't take a liking towards me.
Right.
But, I went to Brooklyn Center High School after I graduated.
Okay.
I went and went to college at St. Cloud State, and I went there for a year. Ended up getting into some fiasco shit there, and
Now, I don't want to cut you off, but it's St. Cloud ain't understand. Like, I heard some shit goes down.
Yeah, St. Cloud is and I'll stand on every word that I say. St. Cloud is a place that's still stuck in old times as far as like classism. I don't even have to say colorism because it's not just black people that get screwed over. It's poor white people that get screwed over too. But their outcome may be a little different, but they're still faced with the same scenarios. But that that little stage of my life, dealt with that, and just being a father, man. I had a daughter when I was 18, so my daughter will be 14 this year, and that kind of puts an age on me. But I have a son that's 6 and also another daughter that's 2.
Okay.
So just fatherhood kind of had taken over. And that's kind of when I first started with my music too.
Okay.
I first recorded myself for the first time in like 2013, which was like 10 years ago. But I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What did you use to record on?
Really, I was just playing the beat out loud and recording it on my phone. This is before GarageBand.
Right. Right.
I was with the headphones. You know what I'm saying? Playing. I had some them computer speakers on my PC. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
And I just would play that out loud and record myself with my headphones on. It was like a 3rd generation iPhone. So that's probably like when I started.
Just the will of the way, right?
Yeah. I work with your resources, exactly.
Yeah.
If you want it, you want it. Go get it.
But yeah, man, throughout life though, I learned a lot of useful information and a lot of detrimental stuff too, because we tend to grasp on the things that's within our culture that's always not so. It really doesn't excel you too much. It kind of brings you back, but if you know how to.
I think sometimes, in our culture, we get ideas and we get suggested things that are quick and easy and fast.
For sure.
Without what the outcomes might be and whether that's good or bad. So I feel you on that. I mean, I think we've all especially as black men in our culture, have all been a victim of some type of thing. You know what I mean? That we were suggested to try or do, and it was like, ah, shit. That was what I wanted.
I wouldn't even say victim. I would just say like
victims. I wouldn't say that.
We've all had to overcome some type of challenge. You know, and you know, and that's the good thing. How we can all sit at the same table and have some type of relativeness because we've all been through some type of overcoming challenge. So
yeah, I don't think it's it's not a single black man, in my opinion, who hasn't been through some kind of adversary or like some type of thing that they get through to build themselves up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't. So I agree with that. Yeah. And so you started.
You don't even realize that sometimes you don't even realize because you're so focused on your goal, they don't even realize that there are those forces kind of just stopping you from getting, and you're questioning yourself like, why is shit not moving?
Because it's society, you know, and it's not always the society that's holding you back. That's what we've been taught. You know what I'm saying? How we've been socialized, and so yeah, I feel that I've definitely took my L's and had to learn. You know what I mean? How to move better, like. And so you started in 2013 recording music. So like are you saying that's when they started? Like that's when you started getting into like, this is what I want to do as a career?
No.
Okay. All right, bet. All right.
It was just like a cool little hobby thing, you know. I used to make beats on GarageBand, like I would say 20 or 2000, it wasn't even 20, it's 2006. I was probably like 14, 15, making beats. They were horrible though, you know. I didn't know anything about like presets or to make it where they could just loop, you know. I was literally just, it's when the y'all know when the Mac, it was the Mac just the screen. When that Mac, first came out with the little L, it had the L leg. Yeah. Just when that first came out, they had GarageBand on there. So that's when me and my cousin, he had one. And shout out to Bodie. You know, we used to be on there trying to get our little John on and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I probably started taking it serious, man. Maybe like 2016, 17. Okay. So last 6 years.
Damn. Okay.
You know what I mean?
So what was your thing before music? Like, you know what I'm saying, with the
basketball.
Sports? Yeah. Okay. You're tall, dude. I figured. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I used to love basketball, but I've always been into music. From making mix CDs and giving them out at school, making people playlists. You know, I've always liked music. You know.
Oh, okay.
I used to write sometimes in my room when I used to get cussed out by my mom and shit. And I was being a little hard head. You know, I'd go in my room. And I just used to write shit in my notebooks, you know, whether it be some angry shit, some poetic shit, you know. So kind of that expression has always been there, I would say. And, you know, as it became more popular and easier to do, which is recording and stuff like that, that's when I kind of got into it on that level, you know. But the whole OBE thing and all that, you know, that kind of sprouted at, like, you know, 2019.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's kind of when I started going into that. That's when I actually started my LLC in 2019.
Okay.
So like on business every day, our best effort, you know, OBE means a lot of things, you know, but it's really just business oriented as well as family oriented because family is business, you know. And
that's exactly man.
And what was that push or that realization to take your music a little bit more seriously and get into the business more seriously?
It was just like I had so many talented people around me in my family, you know, my cousin Mello, Swisher, Sonny, Tiny, you know, just so many cousins that I got that do music. And it's like, man, we the family, bro. We could really take over and do something with this. So, you know, we made our introduction kind of, you know, just recording and learning how to make songs and vibing with each other. So we have tons of material that ain't even been out yet from 2019, pre-pandemic, during the pandemic. You know, we right in the middle of everything that's going on Lake Street during the C-19 riots and George Floyd and all that, you know. So having all that around you, it's like, how can we utilize this to capital, to make capital or to be in a higher position? So, and this isn't anything that I even had a sit down and talk with anybody, but this is just like fluid ideas running through my mind while we're just
chopping.
Just, you know what I mean?
Like
Really being present in the moment and realizing the world around you.
Exactly,
That's
man.
fire, bro.
And then like, sometimes it takes other people to tell you what you're doing for you to see what you're doing. You know what I mean?
True.
Facts.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's dope. So OBE, so what does that, say that again for the people who didn't hear what you're talking? Because I heard you, but
On business every day.
I like that.
You know, Oh Boy Entertainment, our best effort, only bosses enter.
That's
You
fire.
know what I mean?
That's fire, bro.
And it's always about the family.
I
Yeah.
like that it can mean so many different things. At the end of the day, it means the same thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think I hit, I think you're wrong. I hit 30 and my whole mind changed.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm about business more than I ever been in my time. Like, I get up at 5 a.m. to start my days now. I gotta get better for myself and for the people I'm rocking with.
Yeah.
And like I'm rocking with you, like you're like Johnny linked us up, like shout out Black John.
Yeah, shout out.
But like, and so I'm about the OBE. It means that hits me because that's how I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it it's not just for me. It's for my family. It's for my boys. You know what I'm saying? But anybody I call my friends like family to me. So but yeah,
I bet a life in the future, man. You're working towards that.
Something we can like it's not like we're gonna get somewhere with it. You know what I mean? It's gonna go somewhere. So I like that. So like, well, how did you establish that would be the name, or like, what made you think about that?
The origins of it is family based. So we go by like Oh Boys.
Okay.
So Oh Boy Entertainment or Oh Boy Enterprises is the O stands for our last names. Like I said, we family. I wish they was here with us or with me right now, but
we gotta do it again.
And we gotta do it again. Bring the game through. But we all share the same last name. So when I started my business, the name of the business is our last name. So whenever checks are signed or need to be cleared, it makes it a lot more easier. If anybody isn't on the payroll that is a part of the family, how much easier would it be to verify the check at the bank if the last name matched the business and the owner as well as the other?
So smart.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I get what you're saying.
I kind of looked at it as a way of I can feed everybody under this umbrella. You get what I mean?
Yep.
But
Conveniently on top of it.
yeah, and not every single one of my family members' last name.
No,
is
I know
that,
what you mean. I know. Yeah.
But trust and believe, if you sign it over to someone else, it's gonna happen.
Right.
And my main thing is families first, always. Like you said, family doesn't always even have to be blood relation.
Yeah.
It's just who you vibe with, who's on your frequency. Family is frequency, I feel like.
Yeah.
And you know, if you can incorporate the people who want to see you win into the vehicle that you're driving to win, I just feel like you'll get there faster. So yeah, man. Shout out to the family, OBE, man.
So like with that, you're doing the music. That's your lane. So like, what? How do I ask this question? What inspires you to do music? Like, what gets you in the mode to do music? I'm sweating like I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm done drinking. God damn. But no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He an
like,
alcoholic.
so
It's
like,
just hot up in here. He an
is
alcoholic.
it hot in here? Am I tripping?
Are you
It's
tripping?
not hot in here. I'm just sweating.
It ain't too.
So like, you know, because I feel like you're probably, for me, like I do podcasting, right? I feel that's my job. If I'm bringing something to the table, I know how to record, I know how to like shoot a video if I have to, I can do film. So like you're doing music. What inspired you? Like why do you feel like that's what you have to do to bring? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I know you have this stuff in your head, but like you're doing the music shit. Like so, what inspired you to do music? What makes you want to write?
Yeah. So like what inspires me to do music is just like what I see every day. Honestly.
Okay.
We see music. We listen to music. We see art. And as a man, being logical and, you know, things like that every day. Creativity is something that we must indulge in order to be balanced sometimes.
Fact.
So, you know, I know a lot of women who are very classy women, but they loving hip hop. That's like their guilty pleasure. You get what I'm saying?
Right, I feel you.
But I feel like we all need some type of balance on each side of the stick. You know what I'm saying? So like as corny as I think, you know, being as I don't want to say a rapper, but like just everybody's doing it. It's oversaturated. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And you can't really tell all authentic people anymore because everybody's looking this. Everybody has on the same jacket and costume.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So it's almost an easy way to get into the door though with music.
I
So
agree.
if I'm able to make good music, which is like the magnifying glass is focused on music in the Black culture. So if I'm making good music and I can be heard through this avenue, I'm gonna get invited into places or have opportunities to do things, and I'm gonna blow the door wide open because I'm not just strictly music in my mind.
Right.
But it's a vehicle, it's something that I'm using to try to get to where I need to go, you know? But I'm still in love, it's still a passion. So it's easy to do it.
It's your therapy,
Mhm.
but also this ain't all I got in my bag. I feel that.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
feel that.
And I like
Because-
that as well because I always do say, like, yeah, you might have, like, you're rapping, but you also have a much more bigger goal at the end. You
Yes.
also got to look at the goal you're working on. How can it also benefit you to open doors on that other side, as you just put it?
And it makes your life more easier to be realistic because like not everybody who's a rapper and does music gets a lot of money. You could be a high selling artist and not be making a lot of money because like what deal you make.
Yeah.
He's not gonna take a dumb deal
No.
because he's not doing it just for music.
You know,
He knows, okay, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? I can make it work for me.
and
And I
also,
like that.
and also I'm getting into also understanding that even if you don't make it big, because you were trying to work this goal to open up the doors on this other side, it might actually still propel you to get to that end goal, which you're
Exactly.
looking for, whether it's to accumulate generation wealth, you know.
Exactly.
As you say, this allows you to get invited and get recognized, and like somebody be like, "Hey, this dude been putting in work. He
Yeah.
might have not sold 1 million records, but look at his
And-
quality." You know?
While you're saying that, I'm thinking about and you know, because it's legal in Minnesota, smoke if you got them. But I think the dude who did Runts, he was a
LB,
rapper.
right?
Yeah.
Shout out
So
LB.
like he made it big off the cannabis business.
See?
Mhm.
It's just about getting in the door, get your name somewhere, and you can maneuver after that.
Yep. And being open that you think your plans could change and divert you to something that you weren't even thinking about, but you had an open mind to opportunities. Like you're not just focused on the music itself. You're like, okay, the music don't work out. I could open up a clothing company, or I could open up an entertainment company.
Yeah. Or it may not even be you. It could be someone around you,
Yeah,
and they may be on the verge of doing something not so smart business-wise, and you can give them that advice to
yeah.
change the trajectory for everybody.
yeah.
You get what I mean? So, yeah.
I didn't think about it like that.
Or you
Yeah.
find yourself in the right spot, right situation to invest with somebody who's ready to propel it
Right.
further. So you collaborate with somebody or whatever. You know.
And it also with what you said, that means you have to have people around you who are not just looking at themselves. You know what I mean? You're looking at the whole team. You're looking at like what we can do to help each other, not just myself.
Yeah.
And it's not easy in this climate to meet people like that. I'll be real with you. So yeah, like you have the good people. You gotta have a good team to build.
That's
End of the
right.
day, and whether that's family or you know what I'm saying, that or your boys, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
And you need that constant conversation about what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like for me, I always tell myself when we talk about Thursday, you know what I mean. We're on our time. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
We got to keep working.
Yeah.
And in the day, I'm not doing it just for me. Doing it for you. Doing it from you know what I'm saying, my boys, my family. So
Mhm.
I like your whole OBE that just it keep ringing in my head. I'm like I'm not doing it for myself.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for the future You know what I'm saying? Doing it for my family, doing it for my friends. So it's like we all deserve, I feel, and so I like that. So when you sit down and you do a song, what do you like? What will make you want like what's the process? I guess like, do you write it down? Are you always nitpicking at it? You like for me, I do a podcast. It takes longer because I don't want to look like absolute dog shit, right? So like,
Right.
but what is your process on it? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so like my recording process, man, I record at home, or if it's like something I'm collabing with somebody, I'll go to the studio. But most of my stuff is at home. I'm the only one who really touches my stuff. As far as like engineering it, as far as like just recording, I record myself and others. But basically, I don't need to be high all the time, but a lot of the time, I'm high because I'm a smoker. I smoke every day. But shit, I get me a nice little wood, sit at the computer. I got my screen, I got my laptop on my desk. I got my mic shield. So I just sit down. I play the beat out loud a couple times. Everything I've done within the last 4 or 5 years has been just off freestyle or just punch in, is what I'm gonna say. I wouldn't say I like to say freestyle because you're coming up with it on the spot, but it is time you're thinking of it before you say it. So
Wayne type of
yeah. That's
okay.
so. I've just been doing that for like the last 5 years, man, and I just feel like I feel the music more doing that versus writing or having something that I've already written and putting it on the beat. It might not hit as hard because you're not really vibing with that beat. Now, sitting down, listening to the beat in the studio, writing to it, that's a different story. And people don't have time to do that nowadays because creation is increasing on the speed.
If you think that, like I don't know, have you noticed how like short like songs are now?
Yeah.
Like I listened to I think Uzi's album, and it was like 2-minute and 30-second songs.
Yeah,
2:15, and I'm like, because like people are just getting them out. You know what I'm saying? That's the wave kind of.
And also, people's attention span has also just gotten that much shorter. Because you find those 2-minute bangers actually the one that gets the most plays.
Yeah, and it's just banging the whole 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? High pitch, just 808s popping.
Yeah.
Versus the Delphonics with a 7-minute song with a whole live band in the studio. You know what I'm saying?
Variations and variables and composure to the whole structure.
Climaxes of the song, just like a movie.
Yeah.
The song has a script. Like, you know what I mean? Like
now songs are TikTok.
Exactly. I've never made music on that level, but that's where I see myself getting to.
You gotta start what you got. You know what I'm saying?
Start with what I got.
I don't see why you couldn't do anything like that. Like I think if people can get to it now, I think it might be something in the future. I think people want that. Like you know what I mean? I don't know. Things always kind of circulate.
It's real refreshing. It's real refreshing to see. What are those little things that people been doing? The NPRs.
The Tiny Desk?
The Tiny Desk concerts.
I love that shit.
You can see who's really an artist. You can see who really has the I don't know the word, not star, but who really has just artistry, who can perform with live instruments, who can remember lyrics on a high scale. That's why I love that Dipset Locks versus, because Gyst showed you what an MC is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was told when that...
Not even just Gyst, but all three of them. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But Gyst stood out.
For sure. Styles P did the thing, they all did the thing, but them, they when Russ was the big thing.
Yeah.
Back when COVID was kind of a thing. And they had Dipset. I grew up with Dipset, you know what I'm saying? And I've always been a Duo Santana fan.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, well, Dipset got that. Like, what are we talking about? Man, the Locks came out, and I'm dumb, because I knew the Locks had Grammys. I knew they had all that.
Yeah.
But they came out and murdered them, because they actually gave a fuck about what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they are talented. They can, like you're saying, they know their music. They've done it a ton of times, and they care about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Man, Jadakiss, I've always said my favorite rapper because like he's talented, but he cares what the fuck he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And he cares about his people too. That's another conversation. But so they came out there and murdered Dipset, murdered Dipset. Made Dipset look old. Like it was crazy.
But they really younger.
And they're younger than way younger than one. Yeah, not way, but they're younger than lots. You know what I'm saying? And then they get out there and just like rap. There were lots of rapping their songs to Dipset songs to them. That's all. Like they care about their music.
And that goes with the creative process.
Facts.
I'm pretty sure, of course, spliffs was being pulled and Henny bottles and all that was going on, but just I think that early 90s, mid 90s, they was sitting, really pondering on them lines, reciting them, shows in Brooklyn or shows in all over the country versus 03. You pumping out all this music, smack it on a mixtape and push the tape. You might never even perform half of that mixtape.
Right.
But early 90s, every song we putting out, it's damn near a performance
You
to
gotta
it.
see it. Yeah,
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of, I'm not taking nothing away from Dipset, but I kind of think.
And what did Kids say? He said, we got Grammys. All they know is grams.
God.
Like it's
This was on
though.
a whole nother level.
It's
Though,
different
bro.
level, yeah.
I feel like he was awesome. Adderall or some shit. Like he had that look in his eyes, like every word just
And Kiss,
flawless.
Well, Kiss said the reason why they won. I watched an interview about that. And that because they went and actually rehearsed before they did the verses. Where Dipset, I get it. It's a verses. Like we're not taking it serious. Where they actually took it serious, and because they knew they're in New York. You know what I'm saying? They in their hometown. They got to put a show on. You know what I'm saying? And they saw that. And that goes back to business. You know what I'm saying? Like how you were thinking about, like, it's got to be more than just showing up. You know what I'm saying? You got to show up and show out.
Yeah.
And everything. So, I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
No.
That's why I don't do this shit.
Showing up and showing out, man.
I always say you gotta come correct.
You
Like, no
definitely
matter
do.
the situation, y'all, because like, A, you don't know what opportunities might be waiting for you if you don't come correct. And B, man, you gotta show up. You gotta show the people what you got, especially when you're on the stage like that with the world watching. Like, you gotta come correct and at least make people remember your name. Through it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they did that.
It was people that didn't know nothing about the locks that probably listen to that shit every day now.
Yeah.
Just from, let me reintroduce myself to the world and who the fuck I am.
And honestly, I wouldn't even blame them if they got together and like, yo, we're going to try to get this heated up, so let's drop it heavy so people can both remember us. Because I'm like, that's smart business-wise, you know?
That was a dope
Yeah.
thing, though. Because, Dipset, they had their little songs, right? Like, and it was dope to see them do their thing. And dope that they're all on the same stage. If you know about hip-hop, they had their issues back in the day. So, like, I do, like, they stopped doing verses, I guess, right? Because like, the pandemic's not a thing anymore. But that was cool to see, like, that. I watched it. My favorite one was, I think it was DMX and Snoop Dogg. That was dope.
I didn't even see that one.
That was dope. They were just vibing on. They were just chilling. So
DMX died after that?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Rest in peace, D.
Rest in
DMX,
peace.
man, the dog. But yeah, dope. I like to hear about your music process because everybody's different. Because like I know people write everything down. They got notes upon notes upon notes, and you just put a song wherever they wrote down to a beat. Oh, I got that. I got a song I wrote 2 years ago. I could put on that. So it's dope to hear how people do the process. Because like, I always thought about if I would do music, I don't think I could write because I think if I wrote in the song and matched to what I wrote, I wouldn't be able to do it. But I think also like because for me, I've tried to do music every now and then. I'll write something to a beat, but it doesn't match up. I'm like, but I never thought about if I just freestyle it out, it might be easier. It's all about your process and how you do it, right? Like, well, hey, how much we got on time, bro?
We have 30 minutes.
Damn, we already 30 minutes. All right. So, what do you feel about the temperature? Like, what do you feel what's going on? Well, how do you feel about the state of music in Minnesota right now? I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
There's no cohesion because we don't really have a musical culture to attach to. So there is nothing that you can play right now and you say, "Oh, that's Minnesota."
What do you think?
Versus you press play on a Florida song, you go, "No, that's a Florida artist."
Oh, I
You
get
press
it.
play on
I
a
get
Texas
it.
song.
I get it.
Like that's a Brooklyn dude, or even like that's a Chi-Town rapper.
You hear the new UK Brooklyn drill rap. Oh, that's New York.
Yeah.
You hear some drill shit. Oh, that's Chicago. And you hear some bouncy shit. That's LA.
Yep.
You get what I mean?
You hear UK drill, you're like, yeah, that's UK rap drill.
UK drill, New York.
So my thing is, for any artist that's watching or listening, what are we gonna do to press play on our shit for somebody to say that's Minnesota? You know, we can easily, I've been saying this, I think we can easily link up with some producers and tap into some of them Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis samples. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or
because
some of them
had a sound
Morris Day and the Time samples, some of that bouncy, hard ass shit. I don't know. Bro, it's so, like, if I was a producer, that's where I would be trying to.
That Zapp and Roger type. Like, you know what I'm saying?
We
like,
could make so much fire shit with that. You know?
Unique fire ass shit.
Yes. But that's just me.
That's what.
So wait. If anybody run off with that idea, I need mine. For real.
Yeah. Okay. You heard it here first. So if you do it,
right.
give them ends.
Yeah.
But no, I agree because I think there was a sound, obviously with the 80s sound back in the day. But I feel we could build off that sound now. But I think, like you say, we're a little disjointed. You know what I mean? Everybody's their own, like they're inspired by other music.
Exactly.
And so it comes into Minnesota and like, well, that sounds like Texas. Well, that sounds like LA. You know what I mean? That sounds like Detroit. Where we could have our own sound. But I think honestly, right now or in the future, I think it will be a thing because I think
it's coming.
More. Well, you can say like, well, there's more different music out now. Yeah. We don't got the gatekeeping like we used to back in the day.
Yeah.
So I think we'll get some sound, but I think what I always say, like, you hear somebody, if I was rapping right now in Minnesota, I hear somebody I like, I'm gonna tap in with that. Wait, what you got going on? Wait, like the sound, and then keep collaborating. I think they are. I think people are.
Yeah. I mean, we're starting to see that, especially where here in the last 2 years, I feel like the pandemic kind of like made people start realizing, hey, we need to start doing more here in the States.
We got a lot of work to do, though.
Yeah, a lot.
It's a lot of work. Not to go back, but what you were talking about, how everybody has their sound. One thing that I've grown over the last couple of years to see has been how Milwaukee, who's our neighbor, they were rapping with Detroit sound, but they kind of shifted into their own sound. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Milwaukee music.
Because I was just in Milwaukee.
It's kind of sped up a little bit. It's kind of like, they got some like certified trapper. He got like, his sound is more like, what's the beat board, a JPC or something. It's real kind of simple.
Okay.
Okay. You know what I mean? But they created their own sound. They didn't start out with that, but it turned to that. So what are we gonna do as Minnesota artists?
Milwaukee can do it. I mean, nothing against Milwaukee.
No, Milwaukee got it. Yeah,
I love Milwaukee.
I've been out there, so like Milwaukee definitely. It's plenty of niggas in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
It's culture in Milwaukee versus Minnesota. There's no culture. There's no culture in Minneapolis.
No.
And I feel like St. Paul is really doing good.
Yeah.
In the music scene.
Yeah.
And I'm from Minneapolis, and shout out to St. Paul. I feel like they have more culture.
They got a sound. Like,
they have more
definitely
culture.
Heard a sound like Taylor J. Shout out,
shout out my boys.
Times all them boys out there.
Shout out my boys.
Y'all gotta say, I agree. They have a sound, but I think we gotta mesh it now. Minneapolis gotta get a sound.
Yeah. I got songs with Kush Beats.
Yeah.
I got a lot of songs on Kush's Beats. That's my boy. I got a few songs with Taylor J too.
Taylor J.
Yeah, you ain't heard him.
Shout out to boy, man. They working. And I'm big on that. Like, I'm big on supporting like Someone was talking. I think it was last professor talking about we should support NLU, right?
Mm-mm.
I support anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, get your foot in the door, so we get other people in the door too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So
I mean, you got him. He's a young dude. He's coming. He's on his way,
how old
popping
is
this shit.
NLU?
I don't know. I
The
don't know
young kid,
personally.
yeah.
I mean, we had a few conversations, but just on some running. I don't even know if he knew who I was.
Right.
But, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
But, little short conversations or whatever. But I just feel like, Minneapolis. Shit, I'm good. I'm straight. Appreciate you. I feel like Minneapolis, though, man, it's so much, and so many. All we got to do is just get together. And once we get together, we take over. You know what I'm saying? And it's Minnesota. It's not Minneapolis and St. Paul. It's Minnesota. It's the Twin Cities, man. And we need to stand on that. Twin Cities. You know what I mean?
That's what it is.
There's
like,
no separation within.
But you talk about same with Minneapolis. If you're not from Minnesota, like they're connected.
Yeah, Minnesota
they're right
is not a
next to
big, huge state where St. Paul is 2-3 hours away from. Nah, man, you could walk to St. Paul.
So
you know what I mean?
Hey, we're about 40 minutes in, right? So we'll take a little break, let people know what I'm saying, and then we'll get back to it. See when we're gonna start recording. What up? We're back. Welcome to the Gyst Rewind podcast. Or welcome back to our conversation, not just the Gyst Rewind podcast. But so like, what artists out here right now kind of inspire you? You're like, yeah, like I like their sound right now.
Yeah. Growing up, I listened to a lot of R&B. So I'm gonna say that first. I listened to a lot of R&B, '90s, R&B, and a lot of East Coast, man. A lot of East Coast shit. Growing up, a lot of West Coast, Twisted, Do or Die. But more recently, I like to listen to shit that everybody not listening to. So like, I like artists when they're breaking, or artists before they get in the door. You know what I mean? So like, right now, I like it's the young ones, because that's who seems to be getting signed. Ain't no older rappers getting signed like that. But the young ones like the YTB Fat. I like his shit. And I may be old on it because I'm older and I'm not up to date with who's coming out.
Yeah, I'm not either.
You get what I mean? But like, I fuck with that, and that's down south, I fuck with Lil Bear Rubber Band. He's out of Oakland.
Okay.
Him and what's my boy name? Boss Life Spence. He's from Oakland too.
Shout out to Bay.
Yeah, the Bay. Capri. I think he out of Vegas. Wiz Having from out of Florida. And I ain't gonna cap. It's just not my style, the New York style. So I don't really listen to that too much. Like the last person I was really rocking with hard, like out of that region, was like the Don Q's, the fucking Jake Critches, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of era. That's where I kind of. But the older cats in NYC and like Philly stacked with talent, bro.
Man,
bars, bro. Like there's no rappers in Philly that's rapping without bars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And people don't know. I don't know if everybody knows that, bro. I'm be real with you, bro. I don't think people know how good niggas in Philly can rap.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not even just Philly. It's like that whole little like region.
East Coast wing.
Yeah,
right
that little
there,
region.
That Midwest,
you know,
East Coast region.
aside of that drill shit, you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
But even if you think about over the years, how much the styles have also changed and
Yeah.
evolved. Like I like what you said, like the New York new style. It's like,
Yeah.
but it's different from even what was there in 2000,
Yeah.
just 15 years later to how they're flowing out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of them, and I'm probably wrong, but I think a lot of music, with the newer music, it's kind of like what it was back when we were in high school, like the snap songs, and like it's all about dancing now,
Mm-hmm.
where it's not lyrical.
Right.
Yeah,
Really?
I get, yeah.
Not like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they're not lyrical. It's all young rappers who are lyrical.
Bro, you actually bring up a good point because most of like the hits is like almost go viral after somebody
It's on
does a
TikTok.
TikTok dance
Yeah.
Someone
to that
dances
song,
to
and
it.
people are like, "What's this track?"
And it ain't no lyrical shit either.
No,
But
It's pussy hole
And-
brown
and-
type shit.
right?
yeah.
Or booty hole brown.
Yeah, for real though. I mean, like,
And, hey, low key shout out to her, like she got her money.
That
but it's-
motherfucker vibe, or I mean, I can't say vibe it, but it does its job. It does
When
its
you in the
job.
club, that song pops to the high.
Shout
I
out
see
to
what-
her.
Right,
That
shout out 6th
motherfucker
grade.
and her
man.
other song hard too. You know, the women in rap
Man,
right now,
Women are killing it right
they
now.
killing it. You know,
My favorite song, bro, beginning of the summer was that song that girl from Atlanta. That what was her name?
from the A.
She's from the A, from Lotto, Big Lotto.
mm,
That Put It on the Flow. That was the A.
Oh yeah,
She was spitting on that song.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like Lotto, she got, you know what I'm saying, bars. You know
Bars.
what I'm saying? It's just they all rapping.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, they
I
are.
can't even just say Lotto. They all rapping.
they all rapping.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But-
man, the women definitely came up.
Shout out to them though, man.
because it was needed. It was needed for
Yeah.
a long time. It was needed. So
yeah, because for a minute there, I mean, like we had like the Brad on that level, but then they
Mhm.
kind of just faded away, and then you didn't have so
Mhm.
much strong female.
you know what I
rap
mean.
coming.
There was women who were rapping, but they weren't like. No one was like, "Oh, that's a lyricist." You know,
it was just Nikki.
yeah. It was just
She was the
Nicki.
queen of the
And shout
women
out to
Before
rap
that,
scene.
we
you know what I
had
mean?
men,
Shout
you know
out
what I'm
to
saying?
making a lane for everybody
Yeah.
else.
And
I mean,
Cardi
for the
came in
OG
killing it,
era.
and Cardi brought a whole wave
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
I ain't gonna say little Cardis, but,
She did. Her
You know?
own style. That's all you kind of hear.
you know, long nails, flamboyant, stripper, you know,
Being very out
Nigga,
vocal,
cash
upset.
out.
Yep. Yeah,
You know what I'm
cash me
saying?
out. Yeah.
you want this pussy, you gotta pay.
And don't live that
Type
life in
shit.
real life.
I don't
but-
cook, I don't
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking, but no, Cardi B brought a whole flood of
Mhm.
talent that needed to be in
Yeah.
hip hop. Like I watched the BET Awards, and that's most of the best song of the year was women.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it was cool.
and it increased, I guess the hip hop audience because she did bring a whole new audience into
Mhm.
it as well.
Oh, for sure.
Or, yeah.
And Cardi B was on, you know what I mean? She was on Love and Hip Hop before she even got big. So
Mm-hmm.
people had the chance to watch her kind of grow in the music situation.
Yeah.
So that's dope for her. So like what big what is something you like to see change in Minnesota as far as music goes? It's kind of just like people like kind of linking up more and people like I'm always surprised that like there's not a bunch of artists throwing an event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's all linked up. We got our fans. Let's
Yeah.
have some shit at First Avenue.
Right. Yeah. The thing is First Avenue gonna allow that? Or they gonna send niggas to the 7th Street?
That's facts. Yeah.
You feel me?
But why? Like if it's money in your pocket.
Yeah, you know why. You know why. But
Yeah.
you know what they say, you can beat on the door for so long until you build your own house.
Yeah,
And you got a key to your own door. You get what I mean? And that's what we gotta do. We gotta build our own house, man. The real ones know what I mean by how Minnesota music needs to sound. You know what I mean? No disrespect to any other type of, you know, rap style outside of what I'm talking about, like as far as emo or rock or rap rock or punk rap or whatever, backpack rap, whatever it is. Everybody who's real knows what the sound of Minnesota needs to sound like.
Mm.
So if we can all agree on that and get together and make it happen, you know, that's building a foundation to the house.
Mm.
You know, we could put some sheetrock up by finding a venue, You know what I'm saying? We
That's
could
the thing.
we can put the shingles on the side by finding a DJ who's gonna be down to spin every night, you know, and we could detail this motherfucker if we find an artist who's willing to put in the time, effort, and a little bit of paper. You know what I'm saying? Because the group funding is better than, you know, Easy E funding the whole thing.
Right.
You get what I mean?
I'm always with that, bro. You commented on that thing when Wallow was talking to Nipsey.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up right now.
Yeah, bro. Well, that's my mindset. If I got two, you got two, you got two. Shit, we
You got 6 right there.
You know what I'm saying? 6. You go to the bank for 10. Shit, they give us 10. Like we gotta build. You can't build nothing with nothing. You gotta build together.
Yeah. And also going to like how you said how you came up with OBE, you looked around yourself and you saw there's mad talent around you. I think people do need to do that more. Sometimes you just need to look at where you at and start working with what's around you. And like actually, because sometimes you might fail to realize like you got the homies who got the resources right there. You just didn't ask. You
That's
know?
facts. That's big facts. There's people around you probably right now who you don't tap in with. You know what I'm saying?
You're looking outward. Like also to another big fact you say that you can only knock on the door for so long before you start building your own house. I feel like a lot of us get stuck knocking on that door for so damn long.
Because they don't want to build it.
Yeah, fuck this, dude. I got like 8 niggas with me right here. Let's build this shit. Let's go. You know?
Because I don't think everybody knows that they're moving the right way. You know what I mean? Right. So you think, okay, this is the only door I got because I'm not sure about myself. Where I agree, like if you're sure about yourself and you're sure you're moving the right way, man, I can't keep knocking on your door. Like I can't be asking you for permission. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm gonna go ahead and do what I gotta do. And so I think that's what we have to do. And as black people in Minnesota, honestly, if you're, I gotta say it, like if you're black in Minnesota, you gotta kind of build your own thing out here because, like she said, some people want you to get in. So, man, that's some big shit.
Yeah.
Dude, how many people are on your team, Mario?
Yeah.
Officially, it's me at the end of the day, but who I feel is my family first. Like I said, we got Sonny, we got Mello, we got Tiny, we got Swisher. And you know, one thing about Reese, Swisher Reese, he DJs too. So that's like, you know, hey, there were a couple of our songs in there while you got your gig tonight, you know. You know what I mean? And that's how we can kind of see what people like too. And then we got 400, which is like Tune and Mello, that's their thing, is 400. They do 400, we come together as 4BE. You know what I mean? And that's Tune, D-Man. I got a camp, you know, and you know, but everybody's doing their own thing, which you can't really get mad at. Everybody gotta make way for themselves.
How do you keep everybody organized to keep on working towards that common goal?
See, that's the hard part. You know, because at the end of the day, I have to keep myself organized to even be in a position to tell somebody else how to be organized. And you know, like I said earlier, I got a lot of things that I handle as far as business, family, personal life. You know, so it's not always easy getting 8 adult men in one place at one time. No homo. Pause. You know, to handle some business. You know, everybody may not have the chips to do what we need to do. You know, so that's why I got to make sure that I'm working on myself to be able to cover that. And to be a boss and create opportunities for us to get the chips that we need to get to do the things we need to do.
At the end of the day, you know, it falls on you.
Yeah.
If you get to where you want to get at and bring people you want to get to, it falls on you. And everybody I've talked to in this podcast has said that. Every single person. You know what I'm saying? There's only been 10 people, right?
You can't do it alone.
No, you can't.
That's the thing. It falls on you, but you cannot do it alone.
Exactly.
You have to be resourceful. It falls on you to use your resources.
That's why, like you said, it's like I gotta make sure I'm on point. And I can only be an example to be on point for the next person to be on point. So when we come together, we're all on point.
Exactly.
Like he's saying, I got my 2, you got your 2, let's build another LLC. Shit, we'll get it cracking. And that's what it's about. Like, the more I watch, you know what I'm saying, and shout out Man Dog Rules the Game. This is a big inspiration for my podcast.
Okay.
The more I watch them, the more I see like, oh, I have the right mindset. Like I'm working with people who want to work. You know what I'm saying? If we don't tap in now, we'll tap in years from now. Like I got this. Come on with it. Like you were helping me. You know what I'm saying? Last year. And that's how I move. I'm never gonna leave anybody behind. So that's how you have to move to get some money. That's how that's how they did it. Like Gilly Wallow did it. You know what I mean? Wallow came out the pen, you know what I'm saying, and got after it. So you have to be willing to work and be on point, but you need a team.
You need a plan before you even get a team.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to present to a person to be on your team? You know, you got to have some type of proposal, and the proposal has to be beneficial to both parties.
100%.
So that means you have to have a starting point and an end goal. You know what I mean? To even present to somebody, hey, this is what we can do. This is what I'm trying to do. It's got to be mapped out. You have to visualize it, you know, before you could even, materialize it.
You have the discipline for that. Like you have to build yourself up to the point to even have that kind of discipline to have a plan for what you want to get in the future.
Because when you start messing with even real people who are all about it, they're going to start asking questions about your plan. So you better be able to at least answer and articulate some clear answers for somebody to team up with you. You know?
Yeah. No one's going to invest in you if you don't have some type of 1 year, 5 year goal. You know what I mean? Or some type of goal that they can see.
And also too, like I learned this lesson the hard way where I kind of missed out on an opportunity on the idea that I kind of had the idea, but I didn't take the time to fully think about it. But I seriously met somebody who could have helped me kick off that idea, but I couldn't properly articulate and answer those questions there. And it was almost like just one night kind of thing. You met this guy at a party, and then the following day I was like, damn, if I actually would have taken time to think about this months ago, I would have been prepared to talk to that person in that moment. Exactly. Never saw that dude again, you know, and that was it.
That's why I say what they say, luck doesn't exist. It's when preparation meets opportunity. Yeah. In that sense, or in that scenario, a person would have said, oh, I just bumped into this dude at the party. I was lucky that day. But really, it's what you did leading up to that day to even flow into that opportunity, you know? So, man, like, I feel like we are so distracted and so overwhelmed with things that we can just not or put our focus into that's detrimental, like I was saying earlier, that we take away from the time that it takes for us to even create the magnetism to even pull those opportunities towards us, you know?
You know what's fucked up? That you can think you're doing something, like, good, and it's still detrimental. You know what I mean? Like, I'm focused on this part of my life. And it's like, but you're not focused on what you should be focused on. And that's crazy. That's crazy. I literally, like, you know what I mean? I spent a lot of time focused on bullshit that I thought was important at that time. That was bullshit. And it wasn't nothing bad. Nothing like, I was hurting nobody. It was bullshit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, what you're saying has got me just thinking.
For real though, because I always say like there's those small moments, like once again back to the whole idea, like ideas don't come out of nowhere. You got to take time to think, and at that time you might think you're wasting time, but it's actually crucial, beneficial time for you to do that boring work, so you can actually be ready to do the big work.
Exactly. And back to music, a lot of artists, I hear this all the time. A lot of artists say, I didn't even think that song was going to take off. But it was the fact that you was putting in work, and that little thing that was just in the mix of you putting in work is basically the payback that you got for the work you put in.
I agree, because I don't think 60 Red that Booty Hole Brown. You know what I mean? I don't think she really thought that would be like her hit song. I just think she was just making a song to stay on her brand, and that one was the one that popped. You know what I mean? That's like those 10,000 hours, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Like it might be 10 minutes out of those 10,000 hours to get you where you need to be, you know? That's real shit.
Like there's one out of Prince's, I guess, former Prince band member, because Prince passed away. But one chick on there, when I met her, because I asked her, like, yo, how'd you end up on the band? She was like, yo, I had never played a gig. She was like, for 10 years, she was just in a room recording, working to perfect her craft. Like, she literally called it the boring work. She was like, when people were just thinking of my home, wasting my time. And she also felt like she was wasting her time because she was just jamming in the bedroom. And then when it came time, just randomly, some dude was like, yo, there's an audition going on. Go down there. And she showed up, and she was the first one they picked out of the crowd. They're like, no, we're done looking at everybody else. We're taking you.
Mm-hmm.
And like the big message I got from her, once again, it's like, dude, do that boring work. Even when things don't seem like they're moving, if you have that end goal and you know where you're trying to end up in, like, do that boring shit.
I can't imagine being a rapper and not wanting the flashy shit all the goddamn time. You know what I mean? Like, that's the fun shit. That's the shit that gets the eyes on you. But that boring shit will get the paper in your pocket.
Yeah. And like that's a part of my rebranding too, man. Like I don't really wear my necklace too much no more. You know what I mean? I'm about to start just wearing like my shit, like people I fuck with shit. You know, I'm not even really trying to. I don't know why, like, it's a thing to act rich, or like to portray yourself as just rich.
Right.
You get what I mean? Like having wads of cash and like that shit is played out, man.
Why do people do that?
Huh?
You got any thought process why people do that and why people prioritize that?
Because I feel like that's what we see. You know, some of our favorite artists may be doing it. You know, I feel like that's what life is all about. Just mimicking what you see. You pick and pull apart things that you relate to, and you, from age 0 to 100, from age 0 to 200, through that whole time, you're picking apart things that you're seeing, and it's just collecting to you to build up who you are. And that's the danger of movies and shit like that, because some women are still stuck in Disney movies trying to find Prince Charming that's perfect that don't exist. Some boys are still stuck in action figure mode and want to be perfect.
James Bond life.
You get what I'm saying? It's reality, you know what I mean? And we got to find our part in that. But no matter what, no matter if it's a great movie or a shitty movie, you're still going to be pulling apart what is connected to you. So we have to choose what we consume from food, movies. You know what I mean? Yeah. If we consume the right shit, then it'll build up the right character.
I'm big on that. People like to blame media and blame social media for, like, you know, why the world's fucked up. But it's like,
the world been fucked up before social media.
Yeah, right. We can choose if you tap in.
We just didn't see it as
right. That's,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
facts, man. It's always been fucked up in the world.
Because even to add to your point, it's like you're seeing this influencers that look like they're balling, but there's some broke ass influencers just flexing all over,
man.
You know?
That's crazy.
And you know, a picture is just a millisecond. You know, you got 100 pictures. It may be just 10 seconds with somebody else's shit.
Yeah.
And you got a whole profile of pictures.
My biggest fear will be the opposite. Well, that was my money, and I'm a year from now. That money. Can you imagine looking at your phone and you're a rich man in your phone in that picture? No, you're not rich. Like Hit Boy was talking about how he was signed. He had all his money. He tried to bring his boys on. He was broke the year after that. It's like, I can't imagine. I never want to be in a spot where I had all this, you know what I'm saying? I got everything I wanted, and I lost it all on some dumb shit. You know what I mean?
But that's what builds character in life, man.
That's big.
You know, it's this bar. I don't even think I got the song out, but I said, life's about up and downs. Even the highest mountains got the deepest of slopes. You know what I mean? And it's like, no matter what we go through, no matter how high you get, it's going to be a new challenge on that level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you fall without dying, you know how to get back up to that level way easier than it was the first time.
Yeah.
So it's going to keep you from falling when you get back there because you knew what made you fall.
Right.
So you may get a couple more steps up higher, and it's just the progression of life, bro. Yeah. And I think, you know, we have to accept our downfalls or our failures or when we lose things to gain appreciation for them, you know? Yeah. Because
it's also teaches you how to avoid those downfalls.
Yeah.
And I know that's my big thing is how do I try to like not take it. My biggest thing is I am very impulsive, so I work on not being impulsive because when I'm impulsive, I make mistakes. So I try to avoid mistakes. But I will take a L. There's gonna be an L that's gonna hit me. But I agree. You're gonna have to. You take that L. You get the lesson, and you build on that. Other than saying, "Well, I'm down here, I'm never gonna get back up."
Yeah,
Or, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's we getting deep in psychology now.
That's real shit though, and these are the conversations that need to be had because it ain't all just glitter and fucking 1,000 likes, 1,000,000 followers. That shit ain't real, man. It's about life. What are you gonna do to make it through this thing? You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do to actually be the person who you think you are?
Right.
You know, what are you gonna do to convince people that you're the person that you think you are? You know, like I said, the picture or the little snippet of a video don't mean shit. It's about your morals and what's inside of you, not what's on the outside.
Because if you're not that person, one day you get your car pulled.
Yeah. And that day always gonna come.
Yeah.
Just like the mountains, the height, it's waiting for you to come on, man.
So if you're that person, nobody can shake you. You can't get taken off your square. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause you are that person.
Yeah.
You built that foundation. You built that house. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So what? We can get back on the music. So what collabs do you have? What new music you have that you're really excited for? You want to tell people about? You know what I'm saying? What plans you got in the future?
Yeah. Next week I'm gonna drop a video with my boy Johnny. That's who linked us together. We got a video coming out. I think we're gonna drop it Thursday. I think. So yeah, anybody who's listening, you know, try to tap in at BIGG Streetz, at BIGG Streetz. You know, tap in, follow me, stay updated for whatever music.
We'll see his name up. Okay. We're gonna have that on the description for sure.
And then I'm gonna have I'm gonna drop a couple albums. Okay. Like I got so much music, dude. That's why I kind of do it like that. I just put some. Like last year, I put out 3 albums two at once, and then 1 in February. Mm-hmm. So I think like in 3 months, I put out 3 albums. But like that's enough to, you know, get that out. I got like 300 songs, so I'm gonna probably go through that, fisk them out, you know, and just create different type of albums off of those songs, and then you know, kind of finish out the year with that. And you know, I'm just trying to stay proactive with the podcast, kind of bringing people in a little bit because I'm not the most vocal person. I'm not the most inviting person. But when, you know, I do feel comfortable speaking, it's a lot. I feel like I can learn from others and I feel like others can learn a lot from me. So like being in positions like this, you know what I'm saying? That's more conducive for me because this is kind of how I feel like by being who I am. That's how can you lose by being who you are? You know?
Right.
Unless you're a fucked up person.
Facts.
You know, and sometimes people can't help if they fucked up people, but that's another fucked up person out there that want to hang out and y'all can fuck up shit together. Yeah. So there's somebody
y'all
for
stay over there.
Yeah, y'all stay all ass over there, you know. But it's something for everybody, even if you know, on the top or the bottom, man. But yeah, I got some songs with Lil Dusky.
Shout out.
I got more shit coming with Paul Blaze. OBE shit coming for sure.
I wanted to ask you about your merch because your hoodie is dope.
Oh yeah,
that shit's fire.
I got one for you too, man.
Appreciate you, man. What like you're gonna get in the merch game? Like I saw the hoodie, I saw some of that stuff. But what else you thinking about?
Yeah, so like just to give you a little origin on that, the reason why I do that because 3 cents or three, what is it? A third of a penny on the stream.
Yeah.
That ain't nothing, man. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. That's nothing. Like, depending on where your level is, you may have to pay to perform. Mm-hmm. That's backwards. Mm-hmm. So what could I do to make some money out of what I'm involved in? And it's merch, you know. I got people all around me that do merch, you know what I'm saying? If you have people that believe in you, get you some merch, man. Get you something that will withstand time and be kind of a marker on where you are in your progression in life.
And it's yours.
And it's yours, you know what I'm saying? Hats, shoes, glasses, cups, drinks, anything, man. Regardless if you are a rapper, singer, basketball player, plumber, whatever it is, you can create something where you stand on top of your brand.
Yeah.
And others will be more than happy to support that. So I encourage everybody to just do something to make you some money, man, because at the end of the day, we all got to eat. And this shit ain't for free.
Yeah, man, I'm with that, bro. I want to talk to you about that. We'll talk about that off camera.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it's a good conversation, bro. You dropped a lot of gems on us and got me thinking about how I need to work harder. You know what I mean? And you shouted out your socials, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the latest conversation of the Just Rewind podcast. Great having you here.
Appreciate
we're
it.
gonna have to link up. I got so many ideas I want to talk to you about that we can do in the future. You're a good dude, man. You stand on business, and I'm like that too. So yeah, man. This is the latest episode of Just Rewind podcast. Till next time, y'all.
Peace.
Yeah, for sure.
Yo, what's good? Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Just Rewind podcast. Man, I want to give a thank you to Lee and Judd for helping me out to shoot this episode and get this done. It's a big help. And man, another big thank you to BIGG Streetz for stopping in, discussing music, what music is like in Minnesota, how family business go hand in hand. And discussing how establishing relationships and cultivating those relationships can help you build something for the future. So again, thank you for joining us for this episode. Please like, subscribe, share. Until next time, y'all. Peace.